So this weekend I'm working on making a mobile cradle, or sort of cart for the boat, because we are actually getting ready to use these gantries, lift this thing off of the molds and flip it over. So I figured it was way easier to try to make a cradle for this thing and get the angles for how to hold it up while it was upside down. And so I started out with 3 pieces of 2x6. I got 4-foot sections forward and aft, and then just a 2x6 stud in the middle, and that's at the moment screwed in, and actually 2 screws on this side and 2 from the underside. And I've got carriage bolts that we're going to put through there just to make sure that's secure. These caster wheels are rated for 350 pounds, so let's see, that should give me 1,400 pounds worth of capacity. I feel sure this boat isn't probably more than 500 or 600 pounds, at least at the moment. So anyway, I needed something. I'm going to have to pull this whole building platform out of here, and most all these frames go with it as soon as we go to lift it off. A few frames will stay in when we go to pull it off so that it can maintain its shape, not warp or get weird, and quite honestly I'm a little scared about that. But we're rapidly approaching the time to take it off these molds and get it flipped over. You can see here I took some 3/4 inch plywood and put on here, and I debated on what to do for padding on this, and I finally decided to use these, well, there's one on the floor here. The dog, my female dog, likes to eat these things. She scratches and scratches and scratches. I mean, we put them down on the floor in the garage here for them to have something to lie on. And these little interlocking foam pad things, they got a fair bit of cushion, and I'm thinking, man, that'll just protect that. I won't scratch my paint. And so anyway, I just started putting pieces of plywood, 3/4 inch plywood on here, and just kind of laying them on top of that on the angle of the hull, and then drawing around where the 2x6 is and cutting them out and then screwing them in. I'm going to pull this whole thing off of here. I've got to do some pieces for up at the front, and I had to actually go and buy some more plywood, but we're going to do some more. We'll do those 2 up there, and then I'm going to pull this thing off of here, flip it over on the floor over here, and we'll put some more 2x6 in here, and probably going up through there to support it. But part of the beauty of this, and I don't know how well you can see this, but this boat has such beautiful lines and curves, but part of the trick with that then is how do you get enough support here at a couple of contact points? Nothing's square, I guess, is the point. So I started trying to do it with some 2x4 or 2x6. In fact, there's one stray piece left over here where I cut an angle on it to try to get it to fit up underneath here, and there was no way to get it because, I mean, the curves here at the front are even more vicious. It's way closer in here even than it is on the other side back here. So anyway, I'm going to do the same thing with the plywood, and then we'll just go from there. Run over the other side quickly, and you can see that I've got the other one here on the back done, and I've got those little cushion pieces in there so that I'm not getting too close to the hull. And I marked on here, I got a 17 on here. Well, that's associated with frame 17 down here, so when we do flip it over, I got to kind of get it lined up with where it's supposed to go. Okay, we got the cradle off the boat, which was actually a trick. I just put a couple of pieces of plywood on each sides of these arms, and it just got really heavy. But anyway, so got it off of there. We actually used this gantry crane to lift it off the front end. My wife helped me, and we lifted off of off of the keel. So now I'm pretty much done with it. I've got the carriage bolts in, the cross members. I did put a little wheel underneath the center of it just to carry any extra weight. And then I kind of got carried away. I had these pieces of plywood on here, and they're at a kind of funky angle just because of the shape of the boat. So I was going to just put the padding on there, and I was like, let's put a little bit. I had real thin plywood. I just put a couple of pieces on there, screwed it on there. It'll give it a lot better place for the glue to grab a hold for this padding. And this padding's really nice. Got a whole package of them here. We actually got them for the dogs, but anyway, I just cut up a few, and those aren't on there yet. This kind of shows where it's going to go. And then here's the after section. And I got these braced up pretty good. Underneath the plywood there's 2x6 in between there, and even on this end I got 2x6 mitered in there underneath there to support that. So anyway, should be pretty strong. Almost done with the boat cradle. Shop dogs. Doggies want a cookie? Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and look for Jenkins Boat Works on Facebook too. Also, a special thanks to my wife Carrie for your help. Thanks, honey.